Scent bird, I smell good, bitch. And if you want to smell good like me, you'll click down below in the description box and get 15% off of your first month subscription service to Scentbird, which is a monthly subscription service that sends you perfumes, candles, hand lotions, and makeup. So you guys get down below, check out their website, and sign up. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondy Blue, and I am back for another 90-day fiance, you guys. Let's just get right into my notes. David and Annie, we'll start with them. First of all, David is trash. Like, I'm sorry, I don't know how else to put it. Because I feel like he's a liar, and he's a compulsive liar, just like George. Him and George are a lot alike. They're men that feel so insecure about who they are that they will trick women, they will lie, they will do anything to have somebody be with them. And then when it comes time to show and prove, they still can't muster the strength to do so. For instance, the whole problem with Annie and David is that David does not have a job, okay? He doesn't have a job, and every time the rent is due, which is $1,000 a month, which is pretty cheap if you ask me, he has to call a family member. He has to call a friend. You're a 50-some-odd old dude, okay? Like, you're 50 years old, son. Get it together. You need to be man enough to just go and get a job anywhere because you and your wife don't have an income at all. Now, this episode, his sister Nancy is coming in town. And so he and Annie are getting like the food, the traditional foods that she's gonna make, you know, a nice little Thailand dinner, and I was all here for it. That Thai food that she made looked super good, okay? That shit looked for real good. I was like, ooh, Annie, okay, bitch, you better cook. I was here for that. You need to open up a restaurant, ho. That shit looked amazing. Anyways, all right? His sister Nancy is 3 years older than him. They've been having phone conversations, and she thought when he left initially 4 years ago, he was going to go and reboot and get his life together. It all looks as if he was supposed to be going out of town initially to get his life, but instead decided to bring home a 25-year-old woman that he married 4 years later, now having put himself in a situation where he has not worked for 4 years. So it's hard for him to get the type of job that he feels like he deserves. But it's not hard for him to get any old job, but instead of doing that, because he has so much pride, he decides that he is going to just keep asking and borrowing. And that's what Nancy's here for. He invites Nancy to Louisville also he can ask her for money. Okay? Was too embarrassed to let her come to the firehouse that they living in. So she rented her own little house, which is way nicer than anything they're staying in. And please believe Annie did not mince any words letting her know that, okay? He probably did not want you to see. Like, he is probably embarrassed. You know, like, yes, Annie, he is embarrassed. We are embarrassed for him. Bitch, we embarrassed for you. Okay? Everybody is embarrassed because of David. I'm just saying, y'all. He just, you know, like, you just look at him and read all their insecurities all over their body, but yet they still be such, you know, kind of petty, vindictive, stupid fucking men. I just don't understand. I swear I don't understand how you can have a wife and lie and then, you know, basically base your whole life off of somebody else's income, because he did all of this shit thinking that his partner was going to be there to save the day. And his partner is not there anymore to save the day because he found him a wife that wants to make sure that they have money to give their children eventually, and not just always giving out to your friends to the point that you have nothing else to give anybody else. And I agree with his friend's wife. David, you're a grown-ass man. You should be able to take care of yourself and your wife at this point. This is just fucking ridiculous. And Nancy, his sister, felt the same way. She's like, you've been going around asking everybody for money, calling me up, making it seem like everything was good. I come all the way down here and you ask me for money, and I love you dearly, and I'm always going to be there for you, but I'm not giving you any money, because if I do, then this is just enabling you for another month. So no, I'm not giving you shit. Get it together, okay? And Annie was embarrassed this whole time. She's embarrassed at the fact that he's always trying to borrow money instead of make money. She doesn't understand. She's like, why you always borrow? Why you not make money? Why? I'm like, because he's lazy, okay? Because he's lazy and he's a fucking bum. Like, I hate to say it like that. I don't really, but he's a bum. Okay, any man that would do what David has done is a bum, okay? And I really think that Annie should go back home, all right? I think that she can find a better life in Thailand, for one, because her family is there, and for two, she might possibly be able to find somebody that actually will take care of her in Thailand instead of having to come here thinking you're going to get a better life, but you basically, you know, robbing Peter to pay Paul with a bum. And not even a hot bum. Not even what he was giving you when he first was out there and had lost all that weight. He done gained all that fucking weight back and now just poor, living in a old firehouse with no damn job, but a whole bunch of pride. I cannot take it, okay? So Nancy and Ashley, David's sister, go to dinner with them later on. And this conversation gets really interesting very quick because they talk about how Nancy used to always come and take care of David's children. He always had help. He was always so lucky to have his sister who would come and help him take care of his children because he could not. And as Ashley has said many times before, he was not always in their lives in the way that he should have been. He was a deadbeat dad, so to speak. He was there, but he was a deadbeat dad, okay? So this is when Annie is like, so you're going to come and help take care of, you know, my children when we have children? And they just like, what are you talking about? David is 50 years old and he's had a vasectomy. He doesn't have a job. He doesn't have any money. He's borrowing money to pay rent. How are y'all sitting up here talking about having children? Ashley and Nancy both feel like this is very irresponsible for this to even be a conversation at this point. God damn it. Like, Annie, open your eyes. Open your eyes. Okay, if you will open them, you would see that he is who he has always been, and that is who he is always going to be. He is going to wait until you get so tired that you go get a fucking job. Like, that's what he gonna wait on. He's waiting on her to get all her green card shit. If she hasn't gotten it, to get her work papers, he waiting on her to get all of that so that she can go get a job somewhere and take care of his ass. I bet he think that. I bet he think if he just kind of stretched this out as long as possible, that her last resort before she goes back to Thailand might be to just get a job herself. And if that's the case, then the roles will be reversed, and that's especially not what Annie asked for and not what she wanted. I think Annie needs to just cut ties with David. I really do. I think that she loves him. I think there is real love there for her, but I don't think that he's giving her anything in return, and he thinks he loves her, but in all honesty, it can just be, you know, I'm old and pathetic, and I'm lucky to just even have a woman who wants to sleep with me on a daily basis. Like, that's what it looks like to me. I don't know if he can really say he loves her because he's been lying to her this whole time, making her think he was going to be able to give her a life that he cannot give her, especially when it comes to the children. And as women, we don't have time, especially as women who don't have a lot of money, we don't have time to be waiting on these old ass men to decide what the fuck they want to do. This is the same storyline going on with George and Anfisa, so to speak, as far as him being a, you know, an asshole and a liar from the beginning, but it's the same storyline as Real Housewives of Potomac with Michael and Ashley. His old ass does not want a child. You need to take you and your young hot stuff and move on to somebody that can give you what you want instead of trying to make shit work with somebody that's not gonna ever give it to you. You're never gonna get it, 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 never get it. Bop. You know what I'm saying? You're never gonna get it, Annie. Clipped. It's OV. Annie gets upset and storms out because she feels as if all the questions are them questioning her. I don't have to explain my life to you. I don't have to explain everything to you. That's what she said. And I agree with her. She doesn't have to explain, but I think she's misunderstanding where they're coming from. Even Ashley at this point. I don't think that Ashley really dislikes Annie. I just think that she's pissed off at her dad, and she sees that he's going to try to recreate a family, and probably it's either one or two things. Either way, Ashley isn't going to be happy. Either he's going to be a better father, and that's going to make her resent him even more, because if you had it to give, why couldn't you give it to us? Or he's going to do bad by the child, and that's going to make her feel like, yeah, I might have been right, but I didn't want to be right. And now you have another child, I have another sibling in this world that you were going to leave destitute the way you did us. And I don't think that would make her feel all that much better either. You know what I mean? Even if she thinks it might, I don't think it will. I don't think she's coming at this situation with as much anger towards Annie as Annie believes. So she goes outside to talk to Annie and gets Annie to come back inside And Annie is like, she being nice to me, but let's just be honest. I don't trust her. I don't trust her. Annie, you shouldn't trust her. I wouldn't trust her ass either, especially not when you look at what happens next. We thought you was trying to bring the family together and all of that shit, Ashley. But the next thing we see is Annie and Ashley meeting up because Ashley wants to confront Annie about the fact that she heard that Annie was a prostitute in Thailand working at some type of sex bar. I don't know what the fuck a sex bar is. Okay, I don't know what that means. I know what a strip club is and I know what a hoe house is. So pick one. But I don't know what the fuck y'all a sex bar. Fuck out of here. Like nail bar, y'all try to innovate and make shit new, but it's still just a nail salon, bitch. Like you can call it what you want to, but it's still what? A nail salon, all right? Just like this, it's still what? A hoe house. Not a sex whatever. Not a sex bar, bitch. Seriously? Seriously? So when she sits down and asks her about everything, Annie is like, no, I don't understand. Like, why? I hate when they think that because you Thai woman that you sex worker. I'm not sex worker. I never been sex worker. Okay? And then she let her know that David is the one that took her to one of the sex houses, this place called the Ping Pong Show, where a woman opens up bottles with her vagina and she stick all type of, you know, unperishables in her vagina and does stuff. Like wherever they went, David introduced Annie to that. He know more than me. He know more than me. I do not know where to go. We go there, but that does not mean I work there. I was like, thank you, Annie. Clock this, okay? Annie knows very much what the fuck is going on. She knows what the stereotypes of people like her are. And I think she's smart. And I really feel like if given the opportunity, Annie could make a really great life for herself here without David's ass, okay? And without his bitchy daughter and whatever issues she has with her father taking him out on Annie because Annie is a clearer target. Your daddy is gonna duck and dodge, and whenever I think she gets into it with David, Ashley ends up feeling even worse. Even though she says how she feels, he always lets her know that in some way, shape, or form, he don't really give a fuck about her feelings. He loves her, but he's not gonna change. He's not gonna do anything to make her feel better. Like, that's not what their relationship has ever been, it seems like to me. And Ashley is just always wanting something from her father that he's never going to give. And being mad at Annie isn't going to make the situation any better either, you know? But they work on my nerves. They work on my nerves because Ashley is disgusting and annoying. David is a deadbeat and refuses to grow up. I don't understand how you can be a 50-year-old man and still be a fucking child. Somebody has been spoiling you your entire life. The fact that you still had the audacity to call your daddy and ask your daddy for money, like that shit is just despicable to me. It is despicable for you to continue to try to make promises and make a life, and you are not making anything. You're just borrowing from everybody in your fucking life. Like, it's ridiculous. It's damn ridiculous, David. So let's get to the next delusional couple, Nicole and Azan. Okay, we all know that Nicole and took her baby and moved down to Morocco to be with Azan because they couldn't get the visa the way that they wanted to, which was with him coming to America. Now she's gonna go there, get married there, and then they're gonna get the spousal visa. That's the plan. But Nicole is still very unclear on why he didn't get the visa in the first damn place because he hasn't really talked to her about any of it. So she feels in the dark. He takes her to Blue City. It's very romantic. They're walking down the street. He is very loving of her child. I did notice that. And I feel two ways about that. In one way, I'm looking at it like, oh, great. He seems like he really cares about her daughter, but at the same time, that still worries me because I don't trust men that form relationships and marry women that they're not sexually attracted to or they don't really want to be with and then show so much love and affection to the child. I get worried. I've seen way too many episodes of SVU. Not to put that out there and say that that's what's going on, but that is what my senses were telling me. I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm just gonna go ahead and put that out there and tell y'all that I peeped that and I felt some type of way about it, okay? When they finally sit down to talk about it, he tells her that the reason why he didn't get the visa was because, or, you know, the approval, whatever, is because he was in a relationship with another woman in another country and he traveled to go see her as well. So when he was being asked by the man at the embassy, you know, going through his interview, they kept asking about this woman. And I guess they believed that because he had a previous relationship with somebody outside of the country, maybe this was a pattern for him, and he was trying to do the same thing with Nicole, especially if they actually saw any of the video clips from the fucking show. I'm just saying. Him saying that once she lose weight, like all of that shit, everything we saw between the two of them made us feel like he didn't really want to be with her. It is so conflicting seeing him with her right now. He's all smiling and saying he wants to be with her and he loves her and he wants to marry her and he wants to take care of her. He's saying all the right things, but I still don't know if I can believe any of this shit, because I remember what you were saying before. I remember you going ghost. Okay, so here we are now, you whispering sweet nothings and she's eating this shit up, but I'm still looking at it like I'm waiting for the shoe to drop. Seriously. So he takes her over to his mom and his sister's house finally, and she has met them before. They really love Nicole and her baby maid. They feel like she's just another part of the family, and they're excited about planning the wedding, and they're even more excited that the wedding is happening in Morocco so that they can be a part of it. Obviously very much love their son, you know, and their brother, you know. And they really liked her. I was surprised, because y'all know I haven't been watching this whole time, but I was surprised how much love and warmth they showed Nicole and May. I really was. And it made me feel, you know, it just made me confused even more, because it's like, wow, your family likes her, you seem to like her in the moment, but, you know, you were talking to other girls. But then I think about the fact that she cheated on him twice. It's just like, I do not know what's happening in this relationship right now. I'm so confused. But either way, there's a lot of wedding planning to do in a month. And so now Nicole is worried about it. And Azan is like, you know, it's 4 weeks, we'll get it done. It's no sweat, my pet. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about it, all right? Next thing is Nicole's mom is coming to Morocco to help finish planning everything. And she wants to meet Azan because she has never met him before. And she has some questions because she believed the worst about him in a lot of ways. Even though I think she wasn't as annoying and forceful and prejudiced as Chantel's parents are, which is so ironic. But, you know, I always feel like as black people, as people of color, you have to do better. You have to do better. You cannot exhibit the same types of prejudice and bigotry against other people of color as white people have done to us. Like, I think that's not right. And I think that it's either an embedding of the racism so that you have now taken on the behavior of the oppressor, which is very realistic for where we are right now in this culture. But I also feel like if you are so smart, if you are so educated as Chantel's parents seem to be, then they would do better. Okay, we're going to get to them in a minute. But I just wanted to point out how even though Nicole's mom has the same worries, I think that Nicole's mom has handled this situation much better. And she did have a lot of questions once they all sat down. She's, you know, raising her eyebrow to Azan because she feels like he has something to hide. He's just nervous because he doesn't know what Nicole has told her about him. So one of the first things she wants to know is about money. What the hell are y'all gonna do? Because neither one of y'all have a job. Nicole doesn't want to answer any questions about money, even though she's about to run out of the savings that she's accumulated for them. And after the wedding, she's really not gonna have any money. So, you know, it's just like they're going on into everything with blinders. Like, we're ignoring what's actually happening because we're having fun right now. It's a marriage. It's not a party. This is irresponsible as fuck. And her mom is trying her hardest to make both of them aware of what they're getting into, but Nicole just keeps shutting her mom down. Like, she can't ask any questions. Nicole, chill the fuck out. You have more of a problem with this than Azan does. You need to let your mom ask whatever question she wants to ask, because your mom is always very respectful. Her main thing was, I heard about the other women. Is that still an issue? That's something anybody's mom would want to know, okay? And you should be lucky that your mom don't have like a serious attitude right now, because my mom wouldn't want me to marry somebody who I was engaged to and found out that he was leaving nasty, voice messages on her phone and shit like that. It would be a problem for my people. It would be a problem for me. I wouldn't want to marry a motherfucker who did something like that to me right before I come to another country to marry him. That would have put the kaputs on that shit for me. But Nicole is a different type of female, obviously. But she shut her mama down, won't let her mama ask any more questions because she wants to go to the market. And this is when Nicole gets into her her bullshit to me. Nicole tries to come off very sweet and passive aggressive, but when she gets in her bag about something, she can really be an annoying bitch. And it just makes you want to rip her apart sometimes. And I just wanted to rip her apart with the way she was handling her mom. Like, you're stupid, and you're gonna have to fall back on your mom eventually when this shit doesn't work out. So why can't she ask a fucking question, especially if she's gonna end up being responsible for you money-wise or your daughter? And it's obvious that that's exactly what might happen, because you are, once again, going into this marriage with fucking blinders on. So let's get to Pedro and Chantel, y'all, okay? Pedro's sister, Nicole, I think that's her name. I can't even remember. Either way, she's in town. She's a bratty little bitch. She works on my fucking nerves. I don't like her. Specifically because as soon as she got to their small apartment, and it's like, sis, y'all get all the money. That's why the apartment is small. But whatever. She didn't want to sleep on the sofa that Pedro had just spent $1,000 on for her to sleep on. So immediately, Chantel took issue with that because she was like, why is this a fucking issue? We don't have anything. And for your brother to think that it's okay for him to spend our rent money on making you more comfortable, that shit is ridiculous. What ended up happening was exactly what Chantel wanted to happen. That little bitch laid on that sofa and went to sleep and slept just fine. So the next day when she and Pedro go to eat without Chantel, you know, they talk about how Chantel blew it out of proportion and how he's so sorry for how Chantel acted. And I just kind of feel like, Pedro, go fuck your family. Go fuck your family. Like, that's me. That's me all day. As soon as I feel like you putting somebody that's not your wife before your wife, go fuck them then. Get the fuck out my face with this shit then. But see, Chantel is not strong enough for that. I really think that Chantel's parents being as overbearing as they are has weakened her in some type of way as it pertains to people she loves. They are overbearing and all of them kind of gang up on her in order to make her see their point of view, which I think makes her weak when it comes to Pedro. Because if you had raised her to be strong-minded and make her own decisions and step away and let her be a grown-ass woman, then maybe she would have the balls to look at Pedro and say, you know what, this is not what I want. So if you want to do this where you feel like your sister is more important than me because she's here, then you can go ahead and be with your sister. I'm going to stay with my people. I'll come back for the rest of my shit and we can talk about how to dissolve this marriage, because I don't want to be in a marriage with anybody that's not putting me first. Point blank, period. Period. I'm just saying, like, you put yourself first because, you know, you have to take care of yourself in order to take care of anybody else. But you're not going to put your bratty ass little sister's emotions ahead of mine when she's being a little bitch. And I'm just trying to make you understand that we don't have money for you to constantly be spending money on your family to make them feel better while ignoring my emotions and acting like I'm fucking crazy. But like I said, me and Chantel are two different types of chicks. Okay? So she's just gonna, you know, pack her little bag and go to her people's house while he and the sister stay in her apartment. I'd have been like, oh, fuck, we not. Oh, fuck, we not. No, no, no. I wouldn't. I mean, maybe I wouldn't have done it like that because I feel like maybe I would have kicked their asses out of my place. Oh, you want to go stay in a hotel and get the fuck out of my place. Both of y'all. Get the fuck out. Bye-bye. But I think it was an even better decision just to go stay with her people. But she's always spilling all of her business to them and then getting mad when they want to go fuck Pedro up. And it's like, that is why you don't continue to tell them all of your business the way that you do. But I understand she feels like she needs to have somebody on her side and she knows her family will have her back when she feels like Pedro does not have her back at all. She came back home and the energy is fucked up. Pedro hasn't been answering her phone calls or her text messages all day. When she came in, she said, you know, I think they spoke, but she didn't speak. I'm not sure. Either way, she asked to speak to him. And she took him outside to talk to him and said, look, I am sorry if I overreacted, but you can do whatever it is you want to do with your sister. You want to go get a hotel room? I don't care. Do whatever you want to do. He was still mad because he's like, you know, Chantel said to me she does not care. So that means, you know, just you and your sister, I don't care about you. And it's like, well, you don't care about her, so why should she care about you? Pedro, make me understand. And I feel like she went to him in such a defeated way instead of trying to make him understand where she was coming from. She just went defeated and was like, I give up, I give in, whatever you want to do is fine. Just so she wouldn't have to fight and argue with him. But because he's the type of person he is, which is an asshole, it's still going to be an issue regardless. So that's when she decided to go stay with her people. She's telling her people everything that happened. And of course, the first thing they go to is, oh, well, what type of relationship does he have with his sister where he wants to go stay in a hotel with her? What kind of cultural difference is that? Like, basically trying to make it seem like he was fucking his sister, saying that might not even be his real sister. How do we know? And Chantel's like, that is his real sister. Y'all, they look alike. That's his sister. And I don't see any sexual tension between the two of them. I just see somebody that's dependent upon their family and doesn't see that the roles have now changed and he has to change with that. He doesn't see that. He doesn't understand that. His sister is a bratty little bitch who is used to getting her way. We've seen this type of thing even in American Girls. So as far as I'm concerned, their issues aren't any more than what they are, but the family is always trying to make it seem like something nefarious is going on. And the sister might not be the sister, and they might be fucking, and that's why they go into a hotel room. And he might have a split personality disorder, since you say that he's one way when he's around his sister and another way when he's around you. And the brother, you know what I'm saying? The brother has been saying from the beginning that he don't like Pedro and he doesn't think that he's a good fit for his sister. And I agree with him, but I also feel like they don't understand that they just gonna have to step back and let Chantel make this mistake on her own. Like, that's what's really gonna have to happen, because she feels like that's her husband and it's forever, so she's not gonna give up just because y'all push. And every time she goes and talks to them and they get in their bag and the mom's taking off her earrings and the sister's calling Pedro's sister a skank, which, you know, I won't deny that, but I do notice that y'all like to gang up and impress upon Chantel how y'all feel about Pedro, which is not how she feels about Pedro. And a lot of the times it has the reverse effect. Instead of making her realize that, you know, oh, she should leave him, it just makes her feel like maybe she shouldn't have talked to her family about this. Every time with Chantel's family and Pedro, it's the same situation. So the mom and the dad are all upset. They want to get an investigator even more now. And the dad is like a parrot to me. The dad is always just saying anything and never sounds like he's making an intelligent response to anything. It just sounds like shit he's heard his wife say and he's regurgitating it. It's very weird. Like, I don't know what that is, but the daddy seems like somebody that might be slightly weak and is being pushed and drove by whatever his wife wants. That's kind of how it seems to me. But I'm gonna just go ahead and let Chantel and the family Chantel be whatever they want to be. But now they're talking about, oh, let's have a dinner. Why? So we can have the same thing happen and happened last time, but just worse, because now his sister is going to be there to make the situation even more awkward. Like, y'all, them having a family dinner so that they can discuss this shit is not the right move to make, and Chantel should know better at this point. She has tried so many times to bring Pedro into her family and unite them. It's not going to happen, sis. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. They don't trust him. He don't like them. The cultural differences mean he don't give a fuck. And they are kind of bigoted and prejudiced with the way that they look at him. And that's all he sees. This is not going to work. And we all have already seen the previews to that big ass fight that they get into. That little brother thought he was going to be able to handle Pedro. But if you saw how Pedro came up out them woods, you would have realized that maybe you shouldn't have been trying to physically fight Pedro. I'm just saying. So let's get into Molly and Luis, you guys. Molly and Luis are not together anymore. He has finally left her house, which she is very happy about. And she decides to go to an immigration lawyer so that she can finally get the information she needs on how to go through with the divorce. And basically, the immigration lawyer lets her know that she is still on the hook for 10 years because regardless to whether their relationship didn't work out or not, that is not good enough reason to revoke somebody's green card, which I'm happy that that's what the law is, because it seems vindictive and wrong to me that if somebody really was in a relationship with you because they wanted to be with you and it didn't work out, then now they have to be sent back. That seems wrong to me. So finds out that the law says that you have to actually prove that he in some type of way came here under false pretense or got into the marriage for the wrong reasons. So she impresses on Molly that she should go to his green card interview or whatever so that she can state whatever her issues are, because she's going to be on the line. If he has to go to a hospital and get Medicaid or anything like that, she has to pay the government back for anything that he does. It protects the government from illegals coming and getting on government assistance. So you know how they always talking about, oh, the immigrants are always coming here and getting on assistance. That is not true. That is not true, because it's hard, and somebody has to pay back the government when that happens. So it makes me feel like that's like one of those lies that people tell to try to make you hate immigrants. Like, oh, they're taking all of this up. And it's like, no, actually, that's not true. They're only taking up the jobs that you don't want. Okay? Let's just get that out. Let's just put that out there right now. Anyway, but Molly sees that she's going to be off on the hook, so she really wants Louise to get the fuck out the country, basically. And she uses this time with him being gone to call her daughter Olivia and try to get her to come back home. And her daughter is like, we can meet for lunch, but you know, she's not really in a rush to come and move back with her mom just because Louise is gone. They're going to meet up, they're going to talk, but that's it. And I just kind of feel like, Molly, you have had to do mad damage to this girl for her to feel like this was her only resort. Like, as a 17-year-old, you guys, before I left to go to college, you would not catch me living with somebody else instead of living in the home with my parents, or with my mom for that matter. Like, I just wasn't about to leave my comfortable house, you know, just because of this one guy who she started to date, especially if he ain't fucking with me. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think Luis was trying to have sex with her. I don't think he was like putting the moves on her, at least from what we saw. But I do think that her anger was more so with her mom than it was with Luis. And Molly thinks it's all about Luis. But I think it's about you once again, probably for another time in that child's life, choosing some man over her. Really, I really think that that's Olivia's probably main hurt. And I don't know who she's staying with, but I'm interested to know who she was staying with that was allowing her to just stay, you know, infinitely, you know, or indefinitely. I'm sorry. Like, you know, just seems kind of weird. Like, was it another family member? She said it was a friend. Whose friend's mom is like, oh yeah, she can stay. She's 18. She can stay. You know what I mean? Like, it's all weird to me. And it all just makes me feel like Molly has fucked up so much in Olivia's life that this is what her response to this is, to not even be around you. And you, I mean, you put yourself in this situation, so I really don't feel bad for you. I really don't. I feel like you put your own self in this situation, and Luis has always been the person he's been. As long as I've been watching, he's been the same. And you trying to act like he somehow switched it up on you? No. I think that he always thought he was going to get vacation Molly and came back and realized that your life was way too much responsibility for him and what he wanted for himself, and that's why it ended up being this way. I don't know if I necessarily think that he did it just to get in the country. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Because if that's the fact, why not stick it out and work it out and kiss her ass until you get your green card? You know what I mean? So let's get to Pau and Russ. Okay, first of all, Pau and Russ are leaving Colombia, and she is really having a hard time leaving her family. And when she gets back, Russ is now traveling with work, so she's alone, and that makes her miss them even more. It just reinforces her negative feelings about being in America and not being in Colombia with her family. She meets with her friend Jenny, who has known her since she was like 11 years old. She's also from Colombia, and she's the only person that knows about everything and that she can talk to with no judgment. Unlike Juan, Jenny is very respectful of whatever Pau chooses to do. If that includes being with Russ, that's what, you know, being with Russ. And they have a conversation about how ever since her miscarriage, she feels that Russ has not been attentive to her feelings. He hasn't asked her how she's doing, but at the same time, she hasn't asked him how he's doing. And Jenny says, well, maybe he hasn't talked to you about it because he doesn't want to make you cry. He doesn't want to upset you, because it's obvious that whenever Pau talks about it, she gets upset, because it's not just one miscarriage. Apparently, she has a O-negative blood type, which creates antibodies, which is great when you're trying to help heal people, but apparently it kills the red blood cells that develop in pregnancy, and that's why her baby died. So she feels like it's her fault. And she also feels as if she's not getting any real support from anybody. She doesn't want to talk to Juan because she thinks his negative ass is not going to handle it with the care that it needs to be handled in. Meaning he might say some hard shit like, I'm glad, that way you won't be tied down to Russ for the rest of your life, which is a terrible thing to tell your friend when she wanted that baby. You know what I mean? So the fact that she didn't even tell him about that makes me feel like she is putting way too much stock in her relationship with him. I think Juan is a representation of Pau trying to hold on to who she used to be. But what Pau needs to understand is you have to make sacrifices for your marriage, and you have to make sacrifices when you grow up and become a woman and realize that little girl shit has to be left in the past. And Juan is little girl shit. And I don't think she really understands the distinction between the two. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jenny is a good friend. Juan is not, boo. And I think it's sad that she doesn't understand that. And I also think it's unfair that she put all of this pressure on Russ as if he hasn't been trying to be supportive. I think he has, but I think she doesn't really talk. She doesn't say how she's feeling, and he's trying not to step on her toes, especially since he already knows that she's upset about the wine situation, about being away from her family. So I think for him, it's just best to kind of wait for her to come to him. But at the same time, for her, she feels like that's not enough support. I don't know what's going to happen with Pau and Russ, but I hope that they work it out because I think they really love each other. And I would hate to see them break up or their relationship not work out because of the stresses of other people. And that's usually a lot of the times what ends people's marriages, not just money problems or cheating, but them allowing their family and friends to dictate what happens in the marriage or in the relationship. I hope they work it out. I really do. I like Pau, and I think Russ is cool. You know what I'm saying? But I really like Pau. So I want it to work out for her. I really do. So let's get to George and Anfisa, y'all, because the plot continues to thicken with the two of them. All right? George goes to therapy this episode. And he pissed me off, but just made me know that I was right about my assumptions about him being a selfish dickhead who does not care about the way he hurts other people. It's all about what he wants. And the person who really has the money issues is not Anfisa, it's George, okay? Because he goes to therapy and basically tells the therapist that the only problem they have is that they don't have a lot of money. And if he had more money, it would fix all of their problems. A lot of people feel that way. That is not true. Money does not fix all of your problems. It helps, okay? I think money would fix all of my problems. But that's also because I have a lot more going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love my husband. Money is not an issue between me and my husband. And it's never really been. It's always, for me, been about us doing the best that we can to be happy as people. And that means having something to be proud of. And sometimes that's a career, that's a job, that's the YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? Proud of this. All right. Love that I do this. Love that I affect people in the way that I do, because I always thought that I would, but I just never felt that I could say that out loud without sounding like some, narcissistic asshole. But I've always felt that I was supposed to be this person. And now to have this come to fruition, I feel like this is only a positive in our relationship. And the fact that my husband supports me even makes it even better. Okay, so money is not an issue for us. So it will help us. But I don't think it's going to help George and Anfisa, because Anfisa's problem with George is that he can't stop lying. That's all he does is lie. Lie, 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 no matter what. And he thinks that the lying is not an issue. He thinks that if he has enough money to shut her up, then everything will be fine, which makes me think that he thinks that the problem is really with her and not with him. And that is so fucking stupid. Y'all, I'm gonna tell you why it's stupid. Because he's lied repeatedly and she's always been upfront. And what he likes the most about her is her honesty, but yet he can't reciprocate that honesty and be real with her about what's going on in his life. And when he goes back home to talk to Anfisa, Anfisa's like, why do you think money is going to fix our problems with your family? Or the fact that you lie so much? Money is not going to fix that. But he thinks money is going to shut her up. He doesn't want to say that, but that's what he thinks. And it's not true. I don't think it's true. I think she would stay longer, but I think a divorce would end up happening anyway, because Anfisa seems like the type of young woman that, even though she wants a good lifestyle, I think that eventually she would figure out a way to make that happen for herself, or she would be able to find another man who has money that won't lie to her. She's a young woman, and men love young, exotic Russian women. You know what I'm saying? They got men that love that shit. So I don't feel like she wouldn't be able to get money without him. You know what I mean? I really feel like George is a dickhead. For real. He's a dickhead. Later on, she lets the producers know that his ex-girlfriend, who she has heard from before she moved to America, that she is upset after watching the show and seeing that he does have money because he has a 10-year-old daughter with her that he has never taken care of or given any type of support for. And Anfisa thought it was a lie at first, but now, seeing as though he lies about everything, she doesn't know what to believe, especially since she looked at the pictures of the little girl and with a 10-year-old girl and felt as if she could possibly see a resemblance. So now she doesn't know what to believe, and she's tired of dealing with him, and now she's thinking about divorcing him. That should let y'all know it's not about money. I really think that Anfisa just wanted what she wanted. It was upfront about that, but it didn't dictate whether she wanted to be with him or not, because here she is, knowing he's broke, still trying to work it out, but yet here he is, still fucking lying. It's not about money, George. It's not about money. It's about the fact that you are an incomplete person and you are ignorant of your own issues. You're ignorant of your own failings. And until you take responsibility for who you are as a person, as a fucking liar, and realize that that will cause way more issues in any marriage than money problems, I don't know what to tell you. You're living in denial. You're living in denial, and you ignoring that 10-year-old daughter, if that really is your child, shows me that you live in a delusional world where you think money can solve your problems and that you can just throw money at anything. And because you don't have the money to throw at anything, you just refuse to not deal with shit. Lie, ignore, put to the side, you know what I mean? Just basically dismiss Anfisa because he doesn't want to deal with the fact that what she needs requires more work than you figuring out how to hit the lotto. Fucking sad. But that was everything that happened on 90 Day Fiancé. I hope y'all enjoyed the review. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you have not. And hit me up in my email, BONDY.BRITTANY@gmail.com for credit repair, or if you want to start an at-home business. It is too legit to quit, you guys. People are making a lot of money in this business, and I'm just trying to let y'all know what's up. So if you're interested, hit me up in my emails. If you've already talked to me, please do your research and follow up with me. I will be emailing people to see where their head is, if we've talked already. So yeah, you guys, just hit me up, ask me any questions you need to, and follow me on Instagram at BONDY.BLUE, because I am also talking to people there about this. Also follow me on Twitter because I'm tweeting now. Everything is at BONDY.BLUE. I love y'all, and hope y'all have a good week, and I'll see y'all in power.